Testing, testing. All right. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, I can.
Thanks, Brandon. Good morning, everybody. It's 9:30, so we'll get started. First of all, if you're not asking a question, I'd like you to be muted, please, just to cut down any background noise. you might be seeing. Can I just have one confirmation or something to let me know that you can hear me?
I can hear
Yes,
you.
All right,
I can.
excellent, excellent. Thank you very much. All right, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Good,
Yes.
excellent. Thank you. All right, let's get started here. Now, this class is an online class, but I'm actually going to treat it as a live online class, which means that I will be having regular class meetings, although attendance won't be mandatory at those meetings. Now, the fact that you're here means that you are satisfying the attendance requirement already for the first 2 weeks. You just need to attend once during the first 4 sessions. You're already here, so you're already satisfying that. I can get a record of who was at the meeting and how long they spent here. So there's no need for you no need for me to call roll. I already know who's here. So my name's Dr. Musgrave. I am obviously teaching this course. I will go through the syllabus now. Does anybody have any questions or technical issues to report to begin with here? Okay. So I'm going to be running these class session times 9:30 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. As I said, they are on Mondays and Wednesdays. As I said, they are not mandatory. You do not have to attend. This is an online class. That's how it's couched. But I think you'll get more out of the class by being here during those times for my instruction. What will I be doing? Well, I'll be going over the things that are in the syllabus here. And you can see that today we're just going to deal with introduction. I won't be doing any classwork today. I'm just going to be going through, showing you the layout of the course, what's expected, and everything else. That should take pretty much the whole time anyway, especially with questions at the end. So we will be starting on modules 1 and 2 on Wednesday. Now, when I talk about modules 1 and 2, what I'm talking about are the materials here in test 1. And before you come in on Wednesday, you'll get the most out of this class by reading the module 1, going through the module 1 soft chalk. That's what I would do if it was me. And the module 2 soft chalk, which you'll find here under module 2. So these soft chalks here are the best way to handle the material for the first test and the second test as well. There aren't soft chalks for test 3 and 4. That's going to be a different format, and I'll explain that in a minute. Okay, so going back to the syllabus here, I've already been through attendance here. As long as you attend during the first 4 sessions, then you've got the first 2 weeks done. And then as long as you keep working through the first 10 weeks, then you will end up satisfying the second attendance requirement as well. If you miss 2 tests during that time period, then a grade of WF will be entered at that time. But the main way to avoid that, just do your work, and if you can't do it, contact me, and that lets me know you're still with the program. Okay, testing. All right. So all the tests will be online, and they'll be administered through HonorLock. Now, if you haven't seen HonorLock before, I have some materials down here. They're in the table of contents under HonorLock, and there's a practice test here that you can take that will familiarize yourself with what you're going to have to do in order to take any test. There's also some student video and some resources here to familiarize yourself with the system beforehand. Now, the way that the testing is set up, it's all closed book. You can't have anything with you during the setup process. You're expected to do a 360-degree room scan, and that lets me realize that there's nothing around that you're using. I mean, to an extent, you are on your honor with this, as the name suggests. But I really want you to. I'm going to do all I can to prevent people from cheating, and this is the way that I've chosen to do that. Now, the way that the testing works out, you don't actually have to do it at a certain time or on a certain day. It just has to be done by a certain day. You could do tests 1 through 4 today if you wanted to. Obviously, you probably wouldn't because you haven't learned the material yet, but provided you know what you're doing, then you can go ahead and do the test. Let's take a look at test 1 and see what resources you have in order to get through that. So the idea is you've got all of these modules here. It's modules 1 through 6 for test 1. It'll be modules 7 through 12 for test 2. Now, at the end of all of that, once you've gone through that, there's a module 1 to 6 test. And this is the sample module 1 to 6 test, which happens to be identical to test 1. I'll say it again. You didn't mishear me. This test here is identical to what you're going to see in test 1. Now, of course, when you take this test, you'll get different questions every time you take it. But theoretically, you take it enough times, you'll get to see all the questions. So what's the best way to handle test 1? Well, do this test multiple times and make sure that you are getting 100% on it, closed book. And then I can't see why you wouldn't do well on the real test. It's the same questions. I'll say it again. It's the same questions. You don't believe me, do you? It's true. It's true. Does anybody have any questions at this point? Anything at all?
I have a question.
Yes, Christina.
I just came, or my summer class, I did Chem 1025.
Okay.
I'm seeing that it seems like it's kind of like similar material. Is it covering like, because it seems like module 1 through 4 is like similar material. Is it kind of similar?
It's almost exactly the same. There's a
Okay.
little bit of stuff in test 2 that you wouldn't have seen before. But
Okay.
again, there's resources in test 2 that cover that, and it's the same setup as it is for test 1. I would say the test 1 material is pretty much exactly the same. There's a little bit of addition. I must say, yes. There's a little bit of an addition to module 6 that you didn't see in Chem 1025, but everything else is pretty much the same. I'd say 90%. 90% of material is the same.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right. Does anybody have any other questions so far?
So we don't need any textbook or anything of that nature, right?
No, because all the materials are in the course. Now, you can have an optional textbook. It's the Zumdahl book, but you can get any edition of that. And I can't say the name of this place, but it's named after a very long river in South America. All right? So think about that. And if you go to that place, then you can get an early edition of the textbook for under $20. And but that's optional, right? That you don't have to do that. But if you want a secondary reference, then that would be the route you would go. I can't stand making students spend $200 on textbook. I just can't do it. $300, whatever. Now there's no proprietary learning platform you have to get a code for or anything else. Everything is going to be done through my courses. Everything.
Is it this book, The Introduction to Chemistry? I think.
It is it Zumdahl?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, I got it last year or that past summer for 1025.
Okay, introductory chemistry. Oh no, it's let me see. Hang on. I might be misreading here. Let me see. I've got the full title down here.
It's by.
Here we go. Oh no, actually I'm lying. I'm sorry. It's not Zumdahl. It's Tro. I apologize. I'm getting my courses mixed up. It's on the bottom of the syllabus here. It's a Tro book. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry folks. It's a Tro book. I've got the ISBNs for the different editions here as well. The 3rd edition, the 2nd edition. Those should be dirt cheap. They should be dirt cheap. I apologize for getting the name. We used to use Zumdahl for this course, and somehow I regressed. I apologize for that. So we've got the Tro book, but again it's the same deal. You can use that Zumdahl book to be useful for the first two tests, but not for test 3 and 4. That would be that. Yeah, the Tro book is what you need for that. All right, everybody okay with that? Okay. Let's go back to what I was doing for testing here. Did anybody have any questions about the testing for test 1 and test 2? It's going to be pretty much the same setup. Now, as far as what you'll do, my recommendation, I've got this in the syllabus as well, do the soft chalks. The soft chalks, and I'll show you what Module 1 soft chalk looks like. It's got the information, but in addition to that, it's also got these little interactive exercises that you can do that test your understanding. Tied in with the text, which is the same as what's in the survival guide, I've got links to videos that help you understand anything that might come up. And then you can always do these interactive tests and check your answer. And then it also grades it as well, but it's not for a grade. It just enables you to see how you're understanding the stuff that you're doing in the soft chalk. So that would be my recommendation, would be to go through the soft chalk for each module. Now, the other thing that's going to be important here will be the homework. And for tests 1 and 2, homework is for credit. It's worth 20% of your grade. And the homework here, actually, I'm going to go in as a student. I'm going to change to a student view so you can see it as you see it. In Module 1, all you'll see, first of all, is this Module 1 assignment. Now, what you'll do is you'll do that assignment. You'll get 80% on that, and it will open another quiz. That's the Module 1 practice test. And then you'll do that and get 80%, and then you can do the credit quiz. The practice test, you can have as many attempts at these as you want without penalty. The module quiz, the credit quiz, that you'll need to get, that will determine your grade or your points for that particular module. Does everybody understand that? Does anybody have any questions? Now I have this later.
Oh, sorry.
Go on. Sorry.
But are the tests timed? And if so, how long do we have?
It varies. The quizzes are timed. The credit quizzes are timed, but they vary. It depends on the material that's being looked at. But if you understand the material, it should be easy. Time shouldn't be an issue.
Okay.
I've got this laid out here in the syllabus as well, and what you get for the points. So you do the module assignment, you do the practice quiz, and then you do the credit quiz, and that's where you get the points. And you can see it's all broken down here into points. Now, what you should do here to follow your progress is use your grades report. And if you look at the grades report, it shows you exactly what you need to do. It's all laid out for you. If you've got a 0 next to anything, chances are you haven't done it. That's how you'll know. And you can see it all adds up to 20. That's the whole point. Eric, anybody got any questions? So this is just for tests 1 and 2 that have the 20% homework. There is no mandatory homework requirement for tests 3 and 4. So it's just these here. And the reason I'm doing this is because I find that even though people have done 1025, have done introduction, a lot of people forget what they've done. And this is a really good way for people to, first of all, study for the material that they need to do on the test anyway, but also to just get a reminder of the material and what they did. Does anybody have any questions about tests 1 and 2 and the homework and everything else that we're doing here? Okay, so remember that the grades area here is absolutely crucial to your following what you've done and what you haven't done. Now, the other thing that's helpful is if you go back to course home here, we have this upcoming events area, which will have all of the things that are going to be due and when they're due. So if you're not sure about when something is due, go to this area and you'll be able to figure that out. All right, any questions? All right, I'm going to stop here and ask, does anybody have any questions about anything so far? I'm covering a lot of material here. A lot of this is new, and I want to be really sure that everybody's on board with what we're doing so far. Does anybody have any questions at all? Okay, good. All right, let's go back to the syllabus here. So I've explained to you about the testing for test 1 and test 2, how there's 80% for that test that you'll do under Honorlock, and you'll be able to practice for that test by doing the sample test multiple times. You can do it as many times as you like. I recommend doing it open book a couple of times and then closed book the rest of the time. And if you can get at least 90% on it, closed book, and then you take the other test, I just don't see how you can fail. I just don't see it. So what's the main pitfall? Well, the main pitfall is leaving stuff to the last minute. You don't want to be doing that, obviously. Let's take a look at the due dates. You'll notice that the test 1 homework is due on September 13th. Now, I did think about splitting out the homework and making it due over these weeks, because what a lot of people do tend to do is leave it to the last minute. But with this course, because it's not that far until the first test, you know, it's basically 3 weeks really. I do tend not to make everything due, but you know, of course, what happens is a lot of people do leave it to the last minute, then they don't have any time to study for the test. You know, they start doing their tests on that day. My recommendation would be to get everything done as early as you can, because I won't be handing out extensions. So just be aware of that. I mean, everything can be done beforehand, and it should be. So this is a test. I've never done this before in this format, you know, as a live online class. So I may be doing the wrong thing by not having homework due in the interim. But I'm basically trusting you that you'll work at it as you go, and you'll use that flexibility to your advantage and not to your detriment. Does anybody have any questions here? All right, so all the homework will be due on 9/13. The test will be due on 9/14. That's not to say you have to wait till 9/14 to take it. I wouldn't. The other thing is, if you take the test, or if you do a sample test by 9/13 and you get 80% on it, then you can get 5 points of extra credit. That'd be worth it alone. You just have to take the sample test and get 80% on it. The sample test, I'll say it again, the sample test. You do that, and then you can get 5 points of extra credit. That can make up for homework you might not have done. Remember, that's 20 points. That's a quarter of the homework. So I think it's worth it on that basis. Right, does anybody have any questions?
Yes, so for the homework, so you said that we earn extra credit if we get an 80 or more on the sample test, right?
That's right.
Okay.
The sample test, not the real test, the sample test.
Okay, dude, I just wanted to clarify that. That was just...
Yeah. Well, what I'm trying to do is, look, this is a newsflash here, folks. I want you to use that sample test. I want everybody to be clear about that. That's the best way to do well in the course. It's a gift. It's a gift. Use it. Please, use it. I'm being completely transparent here. Nobody's going to have any doubt about what they need to do in order to do well in this class. How could you fail? You can only fail if you leave everything until the last day. You leave everything till the 13th and the 14th, I can tell you, you are not going to do well. And what's more, I'm not going to be particularly sympathetic. Just be aware of that. People who procrastinate, leave everything to the last minute, there's going to be a consequence for that. Just be warned. All right, any questions?
I have a question. What is your preference on the periodic table for like tests and stuff?
Well, the periodic table is actually in the test.
Okay.
So that's the one you'll be using, but obviously it's the same one in the sample test as in the real test, right? Because it's going to be the same test.
Okay.
So if you practice with that table, then you'll be good.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, let's take a squiz, or a squiz is a look. Does anybody know where I'm from? You might have read my bio. I don't know.
Somewhere across the pond.
Somewhere across the pond. Which pond though?
I'm not sure. It could be Australia. It could be Britain. I'm not sure.
It's Australia. It's Australia. Yeah, it's Australia. All right. Let's take a look at this sample module 1 to 6 test, and you'll see what's in there. Now, remember, you can take this, what's it say? Unlimited times. Oh, wow, okay. What have we got here? Okay, there you go. There's your periodic table. Oh, it's a little bit small. Oh, gosh. It's a little bit small. Anybody have any ideas on how I could fix that? Any thoughts? I don't have to fix it. There's something you could do, though. Does anybody know? Well, you can do, it depends on if you're on a PC or a Mac. If you're on a PC, Control+. Control+. And look what happens. It enlarges, right? Control- takes it back. Okay, I'll leave it at 100%. All right, so if it looks small, that's the reason. You can just use Control+, Control- on PC. If you're on a Mac, it's Command+, Command- to mess with the screen size. Now, the other thing, you won't be able to use a regular calculator, but you will be able to use this on-a-lock calculator, which is a screen calculator. The reason I want you to use a screen calculator is because the on-a-lock artificial intelligence can't distinguish between a handheld calculator and a cell phone. So the on-a-lock calculator is here. It's in the sample test. What I recommend you do, I don't know how to make it open you should open it in a separate tab, a separate window. Maybe copy the link. That would be probably the best way. I will look into seeing if I can change the programming though. Actually, yeah, open in new tab. That's what you want to do. There we go. That's better. Open in new tab. You can even pull the tab out if you want. So you have it side by side. That would probably be the way I would do it if it was me. And then you can play with the calculator while you're doing the test. It's like a regular calculator. There are some foibles with the exponent, the EE here, but I'll talk about that when I'm going through the class and show you how to deal with that. But it's pretty much the same as a regular calculator. All right, does anybody have any questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you sure that when we're using the on-lock system that it's not going to either shut us out or whatever when we try to open up another window?
Oh, it won't shut you out with the on-a-lock calculator because it's integrated into the on-a-lock system. In this practice test, I had to include it as a separate link.
Okay.
But in on-a-lock, it's an actual button you press, just like you'd press a help button. There's a button you press to open up the calculator, and it won't lock you out. Guaranteed.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Good question, though. Thank you. But I do this for practice. I don't want anybody to get into the test and say, "Oh gosh, I don't know how to use a calculator." You know, I don't want that for anybody. So practice using that calculator. So you can see that I've got all the reference sheets, including, look at this, periodic table and the list of elements. So you don't even have to know the symbols and the elements. You don't have to memorize them. It's all here. It's all here. Nothing to be scared of, folks. As long as you know what you're doing, you'll be okay. Look here, module 3 conversions. Oh, look at this, a conversion chart right here in the test. Is it going to be the same deal? Same deal. Look at that. Wow. It's a gift. All right. Does anybody have any questions? Anything about the testing?
So you said with this module test, if we take it enough times, like it's going to be the same questions as the first test, correct?
Yes.
Is that going to go on for like the other tests? Like, is it going to be like we're going to have a module test that's going to be the same questions leading up to the big test, or is it only for this test?
No, it's for tests 1 through 4.
Okay.
For test 1. And the final is made up of questions from tests 1 through 4.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So if you do well on the first 4 tests, you know, I just can't see how anybody can get 90% closed book on tests 1 through 4 and then fail the real test. It just doesn't seem possible to me. You know, I just don't see it as possible. Let me check something here. Well, I'm going to go into a real test here. I want to check the attempts. I don't want to do anything here. Here we go. Okay, yes, you get 1 attempt. So you get 1 attempt at the test. That you won't get this password. This password thing won't be there. All right. I just haven't got the extension in here, so it's asking for a password. You won't have a password. Do it in Chrome though. You will get it. You will get this message if you're not in Chrome. I can tell you that. So you know this has to be done in Chrome, but you'll know that by doing the practice test, because the practice test. If the practice test opens, you can do that. Then you can do these tests easy. It won't be a hassle. All right. Any other questions? All right. So we've got test 1, test 2. It's pretty much the same deal. You got the homework involved with those. Now test 3. What happens is there's no actual mandatory homework, but there are quizzes that you can do for extra credit, and they're in these individual folders. But it's the same kind of deal as for the first test. You have to do a practice quiz, and then you do the credit quiz, and that'll give you the points. But these are extra credit. That's for test 3 and 4. You don't have to do them, but you'd be crazy not to. Crazy. Hear me? Crazy. All right. So what have we got in test 3 that's useful to you? Well, lots of things, as it turns out. You've got this practice test 3. This is the ungraded one. It's identical to the real test. The same thing. Again, the same thing. Do this, closed book, get 90%. You can't, I just don't see it. I don't see how you can fail it. I really don't. I just don't. Same questions. I mean, well, you know, same formatting, different numbers and stuff. But, you know, that's the thing. You do that test enough times, you'll get to see all the questions. Practice, practice, practice it. You'll be fine. All right? That's what you'll do. You'll do that again and again and again. There is no extra credit for this particular practice test. There is in the first 2 tests, but not the 3rd and 4th test. The extra credit is in the form of these quizzes that I showed you earlier. Now, how much are those quizzes worth? Well, it kind of varies. So let me show you. Let's go to the grade section. So for test 3, this is the extra credit. And per the syllabus, it's all of these added together and divided by 2. That's your total on the extra credit. I can't put half a point here, unfortunately, so that's why I have to do it that way mathematically. So so it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 5 extra points of extra credit total. And that's from doing those quizzes. All right, what else have we got? For test 4, see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that would be 6.5 points of extra credit on test 4. So all that stuff's extra credit. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, let's go back to Let's go back to test 3 here. And the other interesting resource here are these mini lectures, which are videos. They're videos that go through everything that I'm going through in the class. And you'll notice in the syllabus what I've done for test 3 and 4. If you look at the schedule here, it shows you which videos you should watch prior to coming to the class. You'll get the most out of the class if you've watched these videos first. I'll do a little background, but not a whole lot. The expectation is you've already watched these. And how long are they? Generally not long. I mean, they're less than 10 minutes each for the most part. But I tell you, if you do this and then you come to class, you watch me doing the examples, you watch me doing test questions. That's what I'm going to do in class. I'm going to do test questions in class. I'm going to open that test. I'm going to do test questions in class. I'm going to show you how it's done. You'll get more out of it if you watch the videos first before coming to class. What if you don't want to come to class? That's fine. Just watch the videos. Just watch the videos. But you'll get far more out of it if you come. Really. Take my word for it. All right. Does anybody have any questions? This is why I don't assign a real textbook. You know, because everything's in here. It's all in here. Everything you need to pass this class is in the course. And there's no proprietary homework platform that you have to buy. It's all here. Everything. Everything's here. The other benefit, hundreds of people have been through these quizzes already. So they're pretty much right, but if you see any mistakes, I'll fix them straight away. I will fix them immediately. Try that with a proprietary homework platform. It's not going to happen. But I will fix any mistakes immediately, I guarantee it. I do not want to see people confused about anything. All right, any other questions about anything so far? All right, let's go back. I want to talk about the grading a bit here. Be really super clear about this, the grading. Okay. So let's see. So I talked about the extra credit. I talked about the homework in tests 1 and 2, the extra credit for tests 3 and 4. All right, let's look at the grading here. So the 4 tests, 1 through 4, are essentially 20% of the class each, and the final exam is worth 20%. The final exam may replace one lower test grade. So if you miss one of the tests for any reason, this is how you could make it up by taking the final. So looking at test 1 complete. So this is what I'm classing as test 1. It's the homework, which is 20%. Test 1, which is 80%. And then the sample test extra credit, that's 5%. That's optional, by the way. But again, why wouldn't you? It's funny, you know, when I teach this class, you might say, well, look, everybody does the sample test. Everybody does the extra credit, right? Everybody gets the extra credit. You'd be surprised. Usually half the class does it. Half the class. That's just throwing points away. It's craziness. Are you going to be crazy? Are you going to be crazy? No. You're going to do it. You're going to do this extra credit. You're going to get those 5 points. Why wouldn't you? You have to take the sample test anyway. Why not? Why not get some joy from it too? All right. Anybody got any questions? Okay. Test 2, same deal. Homework, 20%. Test 2, 80%. Sample test, 5%. All right. And remember, you only get that if you get 80% on the sample test. You have to get 80% to get that. All right. The test 3, you've got the whole test, which is worth 100%, and then the extra credit. Remember, it's everything added together, as you see, and divided by 2. All of this is calculated in the grade book. You don't have to calculate any of this. Right? It's all there. It's all there. Same thing with test 4, 100% on the test and then any extra credit. All right, any questions so far? Right, to get an A in the class, you need to score 90 or more on 4 tests. 90 or more, not average of 90, 90 or more. If you do that, then you can exempt the final. You don't have to take the final to get an A in the class. But you do need at least 90% on all 4 tests. To my mind, if you want to exempt the final, you need to show an A grade mastery across all the tests. How difficult is that? I generally find a third of the class manages that, about a third. So they can get an A without taking the final. If you get 80% on all 4 tests, you can have a B without taking the final. If you get any less than that, then you'll need to take the final, and then the final will be the average of all 4 test scores and the final. So all 5 scores get averaged, and that becomes your final grade. So your aim should be to try and get 90% on all the 4 tests, so you don't have to take the final. That's what I would do. And what's more, it's quite possible to do it, but you do have to do the work. I'm not saying it's easy, but you can. But it's certainly doable. Does anybody have any questions?
I have a question. If
Yeah.
I get a 77 on a test and you add that 5% for extra credit, do I still get to exempt my final?
Sure do.
All right, thanks.
Because the test grade that I'm going for here is this complete test grade. That's what matters. It's like exactly what you just said with the tests, with test 3 and 4 as well, and the extra credit. Let's say you had 87% on test 3. If you've got 5 points of extra credit, or even 3 points of extra credit, then you've got your A. Right? So the extra credit can save you bacon. Any questions? Any other questions? Everybody's clear on the grading? I just want to be completely sure about this. Everybody's clear on the grading? Okay. So I've got down here how you can calculate your current course grade, and that is just go into the grades area. Very simple, real simple. It's all laid out for you. It's very transparent, I think. There's a lot of information here, I admit that, but it's so I can provide as much transparency to you as possible. So let's look at what you would do. Look here at the test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4 complete. That's what you're looking for. This is what you want to focus on. This is what you want to be more than 90% or more than 80% or whatever you want it to be. That's how you want to arrange it. I also have here what your letter grade is as you go. Now that's a caveat here because it's a very calculation heavy or formula heavy grade book. I have to set it up so that this grade here, this current overall grade, actually won't be accurate. It'll always be like F until the end. I'm sorry about that. I do get complaints about that occasionally, but it's kind of the price I pay for having all of this laid out the way I do and everything calculated. But to make up for that, that's why I'm saying go down here and look at the letter grades as of each test, and that will give you a running letter grade, how you're doing. But the main focus should be on these guys here, test 1, 2, 3, and 4 complete. Focus on those, and that's how you'll know how you're doing in the course. The other benefit of these is that as you're doing the homework and the extra credit, you know, these totals go up. So even before the test, you can see exactly how many points you've got. This is what I mean by about it being completely transparent. I can only do this because that whole overall grade thing. I'm really sorry about that, but I more than make up for it by doing the stuff down here and adding that layer of transparency and making it really easy to follow your grade. Does anybody have any questions? Any questions at all? All right, so let me go back to the syllabus here. I just make sure that I've covered everything that I wanted to cover. Oh, here we go. This is my cell phone number here. You can call this during my office hours. My office hours are here under this link. So click on my office hours. Hopefully it'll open. There we go. That's me. And then you've got, see, office schedule, right? There you go. Whee! You can call me on my phone during those times. Now, if I happen to be on the phone with somebody else, then that's why I'm saying just leave a message and I will get back to you within that time period. Within 60 minutes, but sooner than that, most likely. All right, so that's when you can actually call me on the phone. And if we can't solve the problem on the phone, I'll set up a Zoom session with you. And we'll go over it and I'll share my screen and use my drawing pad, which I haven't got hooked up today, but that's what I'll do.
Hi, if we send you an email, usually how long does it take you to respond to it?
Pretty quick. Is there anybody else who's had me before here?
Me.
Okay.
I did.
Okay. Ellie, can you verify that I answer my emails pretty quick?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. So there you go, Chloe. No, I'm pretty quick. Slippy.
Also, I might add that I've sent you emails about some stuff that I was stressing about. And you tried calling my phone number that I didn't have updated correctly, like multiple times. And yeah, you definitely go out of your way to help us.
Yeah, I do. So Chloe, you don't need to worry. I will. I'll get back to you as quick as I can.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, but you can call me. That's the thing. You can actually call my phone. Don't be afraid. I said this. You think I'm lying? Some of you think I'm lying. You think I've just put this here for kicks. No. I want you to. I actually want you to call me during my office hours. Now, if you call me outside of my office hours, you can still leave a message, but you'd be better off sending me an email, truly, because I'll get back to you quicker with that than I will on the phone if I don't happen to be in my office hours. All right, you guys are a priority. I want you to realize that you're a priority. I know this is a stressful time. I know it's a tough way to learn, but in this format with these class times and everything else, I think it does make it easy because you can have this contact with me. And then you've got the other contact as well with my cell phone here. All right, I'm just checking to see if there's anything else I might have missed talking about here. All right. Yeah, so if you want to know what you need to do before each session, then look at the schedule I have here. The videos you need to watch, all of that for test 3 and 4, they're all here. And again, with the testing, you don't have to wait till the last day to take it. Take it whenever you want, up to the time it's due. But I tell you, don't wait until the last minute to take it, because the thing is that I can't guarantee that if you wait till the last minute, I can help you. But if you're doing it early, I can help. But if you're taking it, say, even within 6 hours of the due time, there's no guarantee. I might not be able to help you. You might be out of luck. I don't want that to happen. So get the stuff done early when I can help with any problems that are occurring. All right. Does anybody have any other questions? Anything at all about anything I covered in the syllabus? Anything about material or anything else? Okay, so for the first class on Wednesday, well, second class, I guess, it will be, if you look at the thing here, modules 1 and 2. So do the modules 1 and 2 soft chalk before coming to class, and I'll spend that time going over very pertinent stuff. I promise you that. It will be pertinent. It will be worth coming. All right. Any other questions? Any concerns? Anything else anybody wants to talk about? Anything at all? All right. Well, then you know what you need to do. If you have any questions or concerns, send me an email, and we'll see what the story is. Okay, but that's it for today. I do really appreciate you coming. I really appreciate you coming today. If anybody has any questions, let me know. I will I'm recording this session. I will download the link. Sorry, upload the link, put it into this same Zoom folder. I'm sure you're all aware of the Zoom folder. It's probably how you got here, I imagine. But in this same Zoom folder, I'm going to put the links to previous classes down here as well. All right, any questions? Anything at all? All right, we'll leave it there for today then. Thanks very much. And I'll see you all on Wednesday, I hope.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Did anybody else have any other questions? People who are left here? Okay, I'll end the meeting now then. I don't think you're probably at your station here. That's okay. Oh, sorry, David. David, are you there? I see you got a message here. I'm sorry, I didn't. I'm really sorry. I didn't look at the chat. Oh, okay, okay, David. Did I answer your question though? Do you have any other questions? Okay, good. All right. Well, have a good day, David. I'll see you around. Thanks. Kaloni, are you there? All right. Thank you.